Okay, hey there, Jason. Thanks for joining me today.
Good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know,
Yay. Well, hey, so you are a current student of the Six Figure Studio,
yes.
and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience in the program. So, why don't we start by just having you tell us a little bit about the kind of work you do, where you're located, what some of your struggles were, and what made you decide to join the program?
I'm a lifestyle family photographer in
Mhm.
Los Angeles, California, and my struggles to reason why I got into this was I did a lot of hard work during the 2019 holiday season,
Mhm.
built up a lot of great families and clients, and was really excited for 2020 to happen, and then bang,
And then
COVID hit.
2020 happened.
2020 happened, and I had already booked some new families for just birthdays, whatever it was, and all that got shut down, and I felt like my momentum really stalled there. And I was looking a way to kind of figure out what I can do next because I didn't want to lose all the hard work that I have done. Even though it wasn't much, it was still something that I had done.
Mhm.
So I had a photographer friend who said, "Hey, check out Sandra Cohn. She's great," because I was worried, looking into lighting issues and stuff like that. And she said, "Check her out." And I started following you, and then I saw that this program came up, and I said, "Okay, this sounds like something that I need right now." So I did the free webinar, um, and I was really intrigued and kind of drawn in by what you had to say. And I hesitated at first because I was like, oh, you gave kind of the framework, and I said, oh, maybe I can do this on my own. I've got a general idea. But once I just, I made the great decision to say, all right, this is the time to do it. Invest in myself and get going, and let's see what it's all about. And it is one of the best things I've ever done. So
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that so much. And I think like I mean, I think you are like what you went into that place where so many photographers do, where it's like, maybe I can figure this out on my own. Maybe I can DIY this on my own. And especially because I do give the framework in the webinar, right? Like that webinar is meant to be helpful.
yeah.
But what do you think the difference was like between DIYing it, like if you had had the framework, if you could go back in time and imagine you trying to do it on your own versus having been in the class and actually having the step-by-step instruction into the framework?
It seemed simple enough. The framework, it's okay. You do X, Y, and Z, and you've got it. But once I got into the class, I realized that there are things that I had never thought of before that were kind of small, intricate parts of kind of the big picture. And I would have, it's a catch-22. I would have never have thought of these things, but you've made it so easy to do them that it's like, okay, it's not all this extra work to do, because it is, but it's really easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wouldn't have thought of little tiny details. And that's, I think, where my growth has been, is finding kind of like a structure in the midst of, kind of a big taking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I think that that's key. And I remember writing that in the description of the course on my website when I first put up the wait list, saying it's like, this framework is simple. It really is, and it's so simple that people try to overcomplicate
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But it really is, and that's why I talk, that first module being about clarity. It really is just giving the clarity, and what that means might not be what you know, and or what you even think it means, right? And it's that whole idea of like, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So
yeah,
if you're going to do it yourself, if you're going to try to DIY it yourself, if you're going to like, YouTube or Google it yourself, you don't even know what to ask,
right,
right? And
right,
that's where like I'm 21 years in, so I do know what you should be asking, and I am able to
yeah,
give that guidance. But I feel like that's such a good point that I'm so glad you brought up, because I do know that a lot of people are like, okay, well, I've got the framework, I can do it on my own. And what's hard is for me as an educator is then watching people then struggle for another year or more until they're like, okay, no, maybe I do need the program or
Yeah.
a program. Yeah.
And I was in that boat because I had some of, the things that were kind of presented in the webinar. I said, okay, I'm kind of doing those things, but I've been struggling for a year and a half to really build the business. And like I said, I gained a little bit of momentum, but it wasn't enough. And I even found that once I started this course, some of the things I was doing was probably holding me back from gaining even more clients because I hadn't thought of what I was doing could also hurt me as well.
Yes,
So
that's such a good point. Oh my gosh. And I think that's an honest mistake that so many of us make, because again, you just don't know what you don't know. And it's
exactly.
like, gosh, I'm so glad that you got into the program. And so I'm so excited to talk to you because you've been really fun to watch in the program, because I feel like I could just watch you on the calls, like week by week by week, like having these like light bulb moments. And so tell us about where you were at the beginning, because it's just been 3 months. We're just wrapping up the program now at the time of this interview, right? So tell us where you were at the beginning of this program and where you are now as far as like feeling confident, or even just the little things like your website and your marketing plan and your messaging and all of that.
Well, I'll start with my website. I tried to redo it for 2020 and made an overcomplicated website that I thought needed to put all these bells and whistles in to attract people. And going through it and what you've taught us just about building a website and simplifying it and putting in those powerful things that are small but make a big difference has already, given me the confidence. Okay, my website's set. Now I can go further into my brand and, getting that shaped so that when I am able to really fully go back to work, I've got it all in place and I don't have to work very hard. It's already there. And just, finding my style and who I am and what I do has been probably the biggest leap for me. Is I'm one of those that I was a photographer that I dabble in a little bit of everything. Some of it for myself as, fun projects. I love this. I used to do real estate, blah, blah. So I really had kind of an identity crisis at the beginning of this, at least my style. I thought maybe a client would want this kind of style and maybe somebody else would want this. And I don't want to restrict myself so that, I want more people to like me. But what I was doing, like I said, is hurting myself in the fact that I wasn't sending out a clear message to anybody about this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I love to do.
And this is how I can serve you. This is
exactly
why, like, being so crystal clear on those things makes it so much easier to target the right kind of people.
Yes. Yeah. And then being able to, once I figured myself out, the communication part of, here I am, let everybody know this is me, this is what I do. There's no hidden tricks. This is what it is. And I can communicate that so much better now and be clear and be able to answer questions and not be wishy-washy on things. So that's been a huge help as well.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Like once you get that clarity piece, the messaging and marketing, the communication piece gets so much easier, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of fun writing blog posts and just being able to spill who I am onto a piece of paper or onto a blog post to say, this is it, this is what you get. And I love doing this and you're gonna, I'd love to work with you. And, it's been a lot of fun just discovering my passion for photography and the business and people. And
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I think so many people, so photographers in particular, they think that photography is the fun part of it and business is the not fun part of it. And when I love teaching people, it's like, well, once you know the simple little tricks, the business part gets really fun too. It's just as creative as the photography part.
Yes.
And when you can bring that passion into your business side, that's when the magic starts to happen. It's just so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch you like in that process.
It is. And I was skeptical at first that can these things really be, implemented so easily and it will actually work. And one for myself, I've got 2 young kids. I'm busy with family, trying to run a business. Can I manage all these things? And that was a hesitation as well. And I messaged you and said, what is this going to take? Because my time is very scarce. I need to really be focused on what to do. And you said, don't worry, I've got you. And it really has. It's been easy to say, okay, this is work time. I can get so much done because you've made it so clear and easy that I can concentrate on other parts of my life, like my family and everything. And it's just, I was scared of that business part of it, that it was going to take away from what I wanted to do, not only for myself, but my family.
Mm-hmm.
But once you made it easy, it's like, okay, this is easy. I can balance all this without a problem. You know, it was the structure was perfect for me. You know, it made it very easy and simple and fun. Biggest thing was fun. I have smiled more in my business working on it than I have in the year and a half of really diving into my business and just being stressed out about how do I do this and what do I do? And it's been fun. I love it.
Oh my God, you have no idea how happy that makes me. Because that's exactly the process I went through. I went through like hating the business side of my business to loving the business side of my business. And then when you're having fun at it and you love it, I mean, that you just put that energy out. And I love that you said that too about the time commitment, because I know one of the hesitations that a lot of people have is like, God, you know, especially right now, but I've got kids at home. I don't think they're going to be going back to school. I've got all these different time commitments. I don't have time to dive into another program that's going to, consume all my time, and I'm not going to get any results. And I designed this course with that in mind. That's why it's in these little chunks. It's like I wanted to go in, have small, actionable lessons that are actually going to take you on a journey that's going to get your results, because nobody has time to waste. I don't either. I'm also a busy mom. I'm trying to homeschool, high schoolers, and I can't do their math. So I'm like trying to figure out all this stuff. It's been a challenge for me too. So yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I know that that's a lot of the concerns that people have. Another concern that people have is, I know that a lot of people are worried about investing right now in their business, and this program is an investment. And yeah. That was also intentional on my part, because I want to make sure that I have people joining the class who are going to take their investment seriously and show up and do the work. Yeah. And while also, trying to make it accessible. But what would you say to that? Like people who are like, God, this is just such a bad time to spend more money on another class,
I was fortunate enough to learn not too long ago that, as a photographer, sometimes we don't hesitate to buy the latest gear, the newest lens, all this, the lighting, whatever, to make us a better photographer. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the education part kind of gets pushed aside, or we're relying on, free outside sources to give us information that's not always valuable. Mm-hmm. And that, that was a hesitation, is, do I spend this money at a time where I'm not making money, mm-hmm. To invest in myself? But then when I said I need to invest in myself and my business, instead of just taking the pictures and what will make me take better pictures, that kind of clicked with me. Is, spending this money now, I won't get that instant gratification like a new lens will give me, but in the long run, I will get that money back in the hard work mm-hmm. of taking the course and then booking more clients and really working on my business to where it's paid for itself.
Yeah.
And
yeah, oh, absolutely. I feel like photographers love to invest money on the wrong things. Yes. Like the new lens is fun. They're pretty, yeah. And like you said, it's like an instant, like adrenaline rush, but it's that whole false belief that just by being a better photographer, you're going to somehow have a more profitable business. And it does not work that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And
people who tell you otherwise are lying to you.
Right. And simply, I was one of those that I can take great pictures, and I was relying on word of mouth to really boost my business, but learning that, yes, people can spread my name around, but it's not far enough. And that's where I needed to invest in myself and really learn how to drive my business further to reach the right people that I want to, work with that can really, like I said, pay for itself in the long run. It's a small investment for a lifetime of knowledge.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just going to carry you around with me every time I go to tell people this class from now on, because
Right.
it's so true. But what I love about it is that you've actually been through the program, so it's true. It's one thing for people to hear it from me. But okay, I don't want to take up your whole time. I could talk to you all day. It's so fun. But
Right.
do you have anything else you want to tell people about the program or the community or the other people in the group that you've also found value with or in?
I mean, again, we can talk all day about it, but
yeah,
I mean, the key points is, especially with the group, I've connected with some photographers from all over the world that we're going to continue to talk to each other long after this program is over and help each other and be able to, bounce ideas off each other, since we've all gone through the same course, to say, hey, I'm struggling with this part of it because I don't know, I can't figure myself out in it. What have you done that's worked? And they can bounce ideas. And it's not just a random Facebook group that you're going to get 1,000 different people who have 1,000 different ways of doing things. We've all gone through the same struggles, and they can say, well, I found that this has worked for me. Try it out with you. And I love that aspect of kind of continuing that friendship and kind of group with the people that have been in it. And I would say also that, I lost my train of thought. I was too busy. I'm thinking about the group and all the people. And
that's okay. We were just talking about if you had one thing to say, like one more thing to say to somebody who's on the fence about signing up for the program.
I would say, for me, since I was the first group to do it, I was hesitant because it
was a new program. It wasn't proven.
Exactly. It was my word. It was not proven. But now that I've gone through it, I can definitely say this works. If you want it to work and you'll invest a little bit of time and a little bit of money into it, this can carry you so much further past 3 months that I'm excited just to see where my business goes now. Once things kind of normalize, and I'm ready to dive right in and get going. So
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, it is so worth it. So worth it.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jason. It's been like such a pleasure having you in the group, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the last few months. And I'm excited to watch your business just take off. Like, yay.
All right.
Well, thanks for being with me today.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.